Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Cunupia. Shiklisho Limited. Quality you can trust.
Ronix Premium Quality.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
A pleasant assalamu alaikum and good evening, viewers. Welcome to Breaking Barriers. Watching the weather, it was very hard to come out here this evening because as you can clearly see, I have a slight sore throat. But all in the evenings work with your esteemed attorney, Richard Jagisa. But before I go across to Mr. Richard Jagisa, I would just like to remind you about our expo, our Ramadan expo, which will be on the 21st to the 23rd. You can book now at 663-4762. You can call 663-4762, 662-6403, 475-2230. There are limited spaces left. And we will be closing off by the end of this week. So don't miss this chance to be at the largest and most attended event, our pre-Ramadan event. So without further ado, I will just hand you over to Richard to start proceedings.
Hello, good night everyone. Assalamu alaikum, good evening. And Sitaram, welcome to another episode of Breaking Barriers. I am your co-host Richard Jagis and this is Uncle Nazim. And tonight, as Uncle Nazim correctly pointed out, it's stormy, it's windy, it's rainy, and it's hot in Breaking Barriers. It's hot in the studio tonight with some hot topics, with some serious issues to address. Tonight, I think we have a lot of issues, but there were two that stood out the most. Tonight, I want to start off with this controversial issue of changing the coat of arms. Now, let me start off by saying I welcome the change. I welcome any version of praise to our unique and multi-ethnic culture. I welcome any form of any form of cultural enlightenment that the world will have to recognize us for who we are, what we've created, and what we stand by in defense of, such as the steel pan. However, what we have in front of us is a mockery of our beautiful instrument. What we have before us is a lady named Bishop who has given us this, and said, take that. Imagine that. This on your screen now is fan art. It's from a gentleman who did it on his own. He was not paid. He did it on his own. And to me, what do you think, Uncle Nazim? I find this looking plenty better than what we're paying for. Go back to the one we're paying for.
This is
what we're paying for.
The one previous looking classier.
This on your screen now, folks. Imagine all the government workers have to have this embroidered on their clothes. How are you going to embroider the shade on the steel pan and all that? Come now, man. Have some sense. Have some logic. Come back to me, please, for a second. Come back to me. So what we have, let me see the cover of this one. What we have is this designer, and you can show the image, guys. New coat of, there we go. Zoom in on her. She says this is the designer of the coat of arms, Bishop, Gillian Bishop, and she says, go to the other slide. I want it big and bold. I don't care. That's what she says. I did what I was asked. I don't care. The article says, I don't care about what people think. This is how designer Gillian Bishop responded yesterday to negative feedback over the design of the pan on the updated coat of arms of Trinidad and Tobago. Bishop, whose portfolio includes creations of Queen Elizabeth II and heads of state, expressed surprise that this particular project has much attention. It goes on, did what they asked me to do, and I did it to the best of my ability. It's not going to affect how bright my smile is or whether I have to or superior. I design important and significant things all the time, she told Express. It goes on to say, addressing questions about the cost, she says, I have not submitted my invoice yet. Sometimes I do work and submit invoice weeks and months later. I was given a brief and this is the result. Then goes on to say, some will criticize, some will call it wonderful and brilliant. Well, I don't know who those some are. I don't know who. You can come back to me, guys. You come back to me. I don't know who those some are. It's not the majority. It's not the majority of Trinidad and Tobago. She says, I designed for Queen of England, and there was never any buzz about it. Well, Clong, dotish fool. If it designed for the Queen of England and it didn't have any buzz, that means the design wasn't any good. If you design something for the Queen of England and there wasn't any buzz about it, how you could call it?
Something wrong.
Something is wrong. The Queen of England, you know.
Telling you.
She goes on, I designed for heads of state and many other important people. Let me tell you something. Miss Lady. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are important people. What shoppiness you're talking about? So disrespectful. I designed for many important people, and there was no buzz about it. The same point. If you're designing things your whole career, if you're designing things your whole life, that's your profession, and there never is any buzz about it, that means you're not doing a good job.
Well, then maybe to the people who give her that brief, they are the ones she's talking about, not important, not citizens, the people who give her that brief.
And that's a good point, eh? Because the article says, in August of last year, just a couple months ago, Prime Minister Keith Rowley announced at a post-cabinet media briefing that Bishop had been selected. The same time he announced there was going to be a redesign, he announced Bishop as the person. Just so, sole selection. Sole selection.
No tendering. And I would really like to see the cost for a simple steel pan. I will call it a simple steel pan design.
Yeah.
On the original coat of arms.
Correct.
I think if you did give a SEA student who doing art in school, they would have probably give you a base pan with a tenor pan, and it would be much more appreciated.
I'm glad how you worded that. I am very happy you said that way, because my opinion on this thing, why did Kate Christopher Rowley soul select Bishop? What has she done, notably? What has she done to deserve this? Where is the tendering process? How much is this costing us? Because I agree with you. Why not open up the floor? Why not invite citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Make it a competition.
Correct.
Make it an open invitation. All the artists here in Trinidad and Tobago, all the school students, all of the art students majoring in art in UE and UTT, I'm sure they could have done a better job. And that would increase social awareness. You have, you have public awareness campaign. You have social studies class now. We design, we coat of arms, and we redesign it again to include the steel pan. You have all these awareness campaign, but you rush it. What you rush it for? Rush to put the steel pan, rush to select Bishop, same way you rush to select Stuart Young. Why this man is do this to us, boy?
Well, he know he live in. So he gave us a mini-me. Stuart Young is the mini-me of Rowley.
For now, and then he will grow larger in ego.
And let the PNM supporters who sitting down and taking that, I sorry for you all, God forbid, PNM win this next election and Stuart Young, minister, no, God help us, no. Because you see right now, before I go further, first let me congratulate Mr. Donald Trump on achieving the 47th presidency of the United States. And maybe some things might happen. I hope it don't happen to the citizens of the country, but it happened to the people. But it won't happen, if you check it, it wouldn't affect them. It will affect the citizens of the country if anything have sanctions or anything has to be done to us.
Correct.
Because it will have the record, will show you the amount of times that Stuart Young went to Venezuela, and so far we haven't heard the names of the persons he went and met with. I don't want to know what they talk about. I want to know who he had the meeting with. Plus, during the COVID time, remember when no-fly zone?
Correct, yes, yes.
And the bald-head one didn't know who come in the plane. The Prime Minister residence.
Yeah.
People just walls in, and he didn't know who they were. But you talk about stupidity to the max. All right, Richard, I wanted to break your train of thought.
No, we're going back on that topic. I like where you're going tonight, boy. I like where you had to be sick more often. You had to get the cold more often.
No, don't say that.
No, I'm telling you. You see this steel pan thing? You see this coat of arms thing? You see, because we're going to have to, first of all, this version of the coat of arms is going to stay with us if our next government decides to change it. And this is a reminder forever of the undemocratic manner in which Rowley ran our country. Because he just up one morning and said, this is what we're going to do, take that. This is the person who's going to do it, take that. And that's the manner in which he operated his entire cabinet for almost 10 years, and the manner in which he has shoved this change down our throat. What is wrong? What is wrong with opening the invitation to allowing students to redesign aspects of the coat of arms?
And it's a the part where we're looking at is just the ships.
Correct.
But then again, on the coat of arms, if you check, there is
looking for this.
There is a wheel, right?
Yes.
What is the significance on the wheel with the steel pan there now? Ships will signify a wheel. There is the steering of a ship.
Yes.
So I think that wheel is supposed to be removed too.
Very good point. Very good, because when I was in school, I learned that the rocks below, the water, and so on, the palm tree, all signify that we're an island. So then, therefore, what is the point of the wheel? Another colonial inheritance that we can't seem to get rid of. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy steel pan. You could come back to us, guys. I enjoy steel pan just as much as anybody else. In fact, when Joshua Regrello was doing his 36 hours
Guinness Book of Records
straight, I was one of those. I was out of the country, but I was on my phone watching and cheering and giving what little inspiration I could give from miles away. The point is, where we have something unique, where we have something culturally unique, we should praise it, not have it forced down our throat by a woman who says, I don't care what all you think. And that's my point here. And that's my point. Now, why was it rushed? Even independent Senator Vieira says this is too rushed. Why is this a priority? He compares it. Vieira expressed disappointment with the way in which intentions of the change were announced, as no official statement or recommendations were made by any of the relevant state agencies. Vieira said legislation facilitating the change to the coat of arms struck him as, and quote, something nice to have rather than something urgent or necessary. He compares it to rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, oblivious to what lies ahead. Referencing the ill-fated ship which sank with most of its passengers in 1912. He goes on to say, this symbol representing the collective identity of a nation, not this woman who says, I too good for all you could say what you want, it don't change the smile on my face, it's skipping my step, all that nonsense she talking. It represents a collective identity of a nation. Came at a special convention of the PNM when the Honorable Prime Minister avowed his intention to make the change, Vieira said. At a PNM convention, a man in a political party declared for our nation, multicultural and multi-ethnic, multi-social, and so on, decide we're going to change it. This is how we're going to change it. In a short time, take that.
To hell with you.
To hell with you. Independent senators have a problem with it. The country has a problem with it. Opposition has a problem with it. The manner in which it's done. And I echo the sentiments. I love steel pan. I love our culture. I love soca. You know, the national anthem, I sing very proudly. I can't sing, when I sing it's Rain and Storm. But I love it.
Well, what's I had to hire you?
But I cannot tolerate somebody who is unpatriotic as this individual. I don't care. You know?
And very insulting too.
And insulting.
I wonder if her name is Vidal Bishop Rowley.
How was she selected? You know, and we asked now, and you touched on the point earlier, we asked how much is this costing her? She said, I ain't submit her invoice yet. Lady, don't submit it. Don't submit it. Take your invoice, and throw it away. Don't submit it. That is one. Two. Next point is, how were you selected if not through a fair tendering process? How are we now asking ourselves how much this will cost us? Why that wasn't raised before?
All that. That's just that taxpayers' money.
Taxpayers' monies.
But then again, this government don't care about taxpayers' money. They just spend the money willy-nilly.
Yeah. And that is the sad truth of the thing. And I cannot tolerate somebody as unpatriotic as this individual will now forever have the name, or until better comes along, forever have the name that she had a hand in our coat of arms. Something that we use to identify ourselves on the world stage. I have a serious problem with that. Lady, if you design things for Queen Elizabeth II, well, then go back there. If you're designing for other heads of state, go back there. If you're designing for other important people, as you put it, they probably designed the new Balize logo or something, I don't know. As Uncle Nazim said, them was probably the important people.
Exactly.
Go back there. Because we don't want this. This real ugly. This, you know what? Actually, show back your picture again. Bring back up your picture again. It's real ugly. You see what you're saying? The logo real ugly, eh? Yeah. The logo real ugly.
Yeah, because, well, I don't want to say nothing further.
I don't understand how, and I think she made some narcissistic comment. Let me have a look at it and see if I find it very quickly. She said, what did she say? What did she say? She said, Bishops continued. Nowadays, with these phones, people type anything and they get airtime and publicity. Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. It is the first time in our entire history where we can hear from the man on the street, where we can hear from anybody at any time, and the people have spoken. The majority of people have spoken, and this is an insult. And you fail to grasp and understand the thoughts and the feelings of how we feel as a nation, as a population, on our national symbol of identity and unity. And that's why I have a problem with it. I think I sent you a picture of Stuart Young. It's in the same section. Could you bring it up, please? I want to read the headline. I want a quick, brief, short response to it. What you could do is you could just bring up the section and oscillate through the photos, and I'll tell you which one is the one I'm referring to. It's an article. It's an article with, let's go again. There we go. There we go. Pause. Mitchell dismisses criticism of new look coat of arms. The majority of people are in favor. And you know who Mitchell is? So that's what Mitchell's saying. You know what's my response to it? Come back to me. You know what's my response to him?
You could do better than that, man.
He don't deserve
You need a little more water in that.
Yeah, just I'll get something in it. So you wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, well, from there, I wanted to talk about switching gears. We're looking at what the commentators are saying about Kamala's response to Biden. How his tenure was a disaster. We're very pleased with the list then.
Oh, you have it there. Let me get it for you quickly.
Look, have it here. Right. Now, I also have a problem with her using the word disaster. You know, she could have used more palatable language to say about the former president of the United States. But there are some points listed here in today's Express, which shows you the kind of things that Biden and them were proposing. And those people, especially, remember there is a group of people, you don't hear them at all. When Rowley made a statement, when Stuart Young made a statement, the FAB, you know who's the FAB?
No, FAB.
You don't know who's the FAB?
Fabulous and Dotish.
The Fatah's Brigade. I don't think that language could be spoken on air. I don't think it's a problem. They don't speak about nothing. Mm-hmm. But they want Kamala to apologize for her statements. But the FAB, FOB, come out from nowhere. I haven't heard them once criticize Dr. Rowley for his statement against women in particular. And Stuart Young in Parliament with the hot mic. That is all well and good. Mm-hmm. When it is with PNM people, it's good. But anybody else, they have a problem with. Well, I have a problem with all you go back in all your coma. Go back in all your coma and stay there. Because I'm just going to read a few of the things that she listed here. 1, tampons in teenage boys' bathrooms. That is what they were proposing. Tampon for boys. 2, puberty blockers for teens without parental consent. Gender reassignment surgery for children. What madness is this? Sexualization and grooming of children under the guise of human rights. How is that possible? Adult men using the same public washrooms as little girls and women. You know, if they had a way they want to bring it here, you know what could happen in Trinidad? Mm-hmm. Every day you have a rape, or more than one. No, I will stop there. But these are the things, and I want to congratulate Donald Trump for coming openly and say that there are only two genders, male and female. This thing about if you want, as a matter of fact, I saw in a video where a child received a gift for Christmas, a boy. And when he opened the gift, it was a dress. A dress the parents buy for the boy. So what are you doing with these children? And there are also cartoons on TV. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I was watching Peppa Pig. I shouldn't mention that word on IBN, I should have said Peppa something else. But, and I saw something very distressing with the same LBG2WXYZ. And I told him that I don't want him watching this program again. He's only 5 years. So I didn't really want to go into, explaining too much. But I told him it have things on this program now that you should not be seeing. And I stopped him from watching the program. There's total madness in this place. So I want to congratulate Mr. Trump. And I want him to move swiftly on the persons who have been dealing with Maduro and his companions and stand the consequences. The country could do without them. The country could do without them. So you take whatever steps necessary to deal with the two of them.
Yes.
Richard, what's up?
And while we 8:20 and they told us to start to go on this break between 8:20 and 8:25 to start to structure that a little more. And before we take the first break, I just want to confirm here in this article here, it says, even the controversy over new coat of arms design, graphic designers say go back to the drawing board. And that's my foundation for earlier saying even other graphic designers have an issue with it. And that's now of course it's passed already. Yeah? This is going to be our coat of arms.
As a matter of fact, I heard it on the...
So it is passed, and that's why I made the comment earlier that it's going to be our coat of arms if and until another government comes and changes it.
No, but it have to go to the president to sign off. So if the president at least watch it and believe that some changes should be made to it, then it will go back.
That is possible, yes, that is possible. And the point I want to make here, it is not just us saying something or echoing sentiments of a handful. This is serious people here. This is serious patriots taking issue with the design. And I, equally on a personal level, as a national of this country, share those sentiments. I think better could have been done. I think this could have been an opportunity. You could have made a whole carnival thing about it. Why you rush it?
I find open it back, as you were saying earlier, all persons who have an interest in art, outside of art, submit a design fitting for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct. This new incarnation, this new version expressing our era of multiculturalism, this particular aspect of Trinidad and Tobago. Because they say every generation it changes just a little bit. And we're so far from when the coat of arms originally came into being that maybe it needs to be looked at entirely. And if that is the case, first, the best thing to do, oh God, Minister of Education, oh God, Stuart Young, you're telling people, you're going in schools and so on, and you're telling people, you're putting youth first and all of that. No, this was your opportunity to come together and have an entire educational platform on the importance of our national identity, an entire educational platform on the importance of our unique cultural background. The things that we create that nobody else have, limbo, steel pan, soca, kaiso, and so on. You could have taught Moko Jombi.
But I hear you mention Tassa.
Tassa, unique things that we alone have, and we've created and we've shared with the rest of the world. And I was traveling. I think it was Aruba. And I walk in the streets. And people have steel pan playing, You walk in New York, people playing steel pan, and I stop and I enjoy it. And you ask them, hey, play this song, play that song. They will play it. Well, where you learn to play steel pan? I pick it up for myself. You know where steel pan come from? No. You understand? That is something we and we alone have. And we have a unique cultural background that we should share with the country. And this was your opportunity to do it. This was your opportunity to invite persons to become interested in our social background and interested in spreading our unique social and cultural background to the world. And I think we should take our first break.
Sure,
and
no
we'll
problem.
come back, we'll jam again. Let's go to the first break, guys.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronix collection of angle grinders.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality bromate free, all purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Ronix premium quality.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
And welcome back. While we were on the break, it was brought to our attention that the same coat of arms where the goodly lady did not submit an invoice as yet. So let's say in a month or 2 months' time, or say tomorrow, she submits an invoice for $15 million. Will the taxpayers be paying that? Who is going to pay that money? Let's just assume it could be more, it could be less. So who is going to pay for that? So we need some clarity on this. Somebody can be getting a contract to do something which is sole selected, and they do have a price tag on it.
Which appears to be sole selected, eh?
Yes,
which appears to be so, because sole selected is a formal way of awarding a contract. This looks very informal.
That is a friend thing.
Hey.
But it seems as if the treasury belongs to the PNM and they could do what the hell they want with it. And the citizens it have some citizens will speak against it. You know, when they speak against it and they're not politically affiliated to other parties, they will be assumed as opposition because this is a PNM thing.
Yeah.
They introduced it. And that is where how polarized we are. So we need some clarity on this. Mr. Randall Mitchell, we need to get some clarity on this. We want to know the cost. We want to know the cost of this.
You have to ask Imbert as well. You have to ask
That the
Imbert.
finance man.
Yeah, correct. Because where the bill will go? The
No,
bill has to go Ministry of Finance.
But just now we had to come to I think we had to come to Imbert just now. Because he lost the next case again.
He could come to him, he could go, he could walk off a plank, I don't care.
All right, well, before we continue, I just want to raise one item, and that is the item on the port, where containers, the delay in containers are costing importers huge demurrage. Oh, as you have that one, we'll leave that there, guys. Now, on the screen here, you remember last week we spoke about the cameras?
Yes.
Right. I'm just going to read out that short paragraph there, right? In order for the goods to be shipped, that's the cameras, and for us to deliver, we require, as per the contract, the payment of 70% of the initial payment, which was due and payable on September the 5th, 2024. It is outstanding and to date has not been paid. But the part, what is underneath there, this has been accruing rent at the cost of $220,000 US per month. You can imagine that since September to now?
That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous.
How much them cameras going to cost us at the end? Who's going to absorb the cost for the rent?
The taxpayer. Only the taxpayer.
I don't know what to say, you know.
And these are just the leakages of funds that we are catching. There are other aspects of this every day that we don't catch. And I hope the Auditor General, is
We're talking
working.
about the previous one or this one? The acting one or the one who threw they want the bus?
All. That's the duty of the Auditor General, according to the Constitution. And the Public Accounts Committee, I hope they're looking on seriously and diligently.
Yeah, well, you know nothing not going to come out of that.
Yes.
All steam. But on the item of the demurrage, it is costing importers a huge amount in additional costs. And who do you think the importers are going to pass on the cost to? They are not going to watch their profit margin dwindle. You, the consumers, will be paying for that. They're going to raise their items. Not everyone will do it. There are some importers with a conscience. They will probably, their profit margin will be a little smaller. But the majority of them are going to tell you that they paid so much in demurrage and the cost of the items will go up.
Correct.
And we have no choice. So something needs to be done about it. What is happening to the port? At present, there is look, Brother Inshan did write something on Facebook. And as you can see, he's asking quite correctly, what is the Comptroller of Customs and the Minister of Finance doing about the mess at the port? Containers that have arrived in December have not been cleared as yet, and it's delayed after delay. New junior officers don't know what the hell they are doing, while senior officers are overburdened. Costs of goods from imported food items to car parts increased by 15% plus due to the incompetence of those in charge. When you speak up or expose the madness, your company is targeted, and that is a fact.
Correct.
If you stay in your hole and you don't say anything, you're a good boy. But if you speak up, they will victimize you. So you have to pay more damage.
Yes.
So, Port Authority, all you act together. And by the way, how come one set of Chinese products coming through the port and there is no English on it? no English writing on it. So you as a consumer go to buy a product. Normally you will take up the product and you will read it to see what its contents are. How are you going to know what you're buying when it is strictly Chinese? Mr. Attorney,
You had to pick up a course on the side.
you could tell me if that is legal when it comes to foodstuffs, that you have something that you want to purchase. Maybe it's a little cheaper. The one with the English a little more expensive. But the one with the Chinese writing a little cheaper, and you know the cost of living is so high. People will look for cheaper items. Is there any redress for these Chinese products coming in with no English as to other importers who have their goods being delayed?
Isn't it the law that goods being imported, especially goods for consumption, meat, food and so on, isn't it the law that those things need to come with a certificate of analysis telling us the ingredients and telling us the chemical composition of the items and so on, if preservatives, etc.
How much salt it have in it? It have people with high blood pressure.
Correct. And is it that the senior and junior officers at the Port Authority are now bilingual and can read these things and confirm that they meet our international standards?
Bilingual English, Spanish.
I thought you were going to say
not English, Chinese.
Well, that is the law. It must have a certificate of analysis, and a certificate of analysis must be used to confirm the contents of the item. Otherwise, what are we bringing in the country?
No, it's not that the product wouldn't be a good product, but we want to read it and understand it. We want to see what it consists of.
Correct.
Because in this day and age right now, people watching carefully what they're consuming. So customs officers at the port, all you do what is right, please. And let me try and ease up our citizens, our importers, and see how fast they could get their containers so that at least the goods can reach the customer at a cheaper price.
Yes, indeed so. So 8:40, we take the second break, and when we come back, we hit that other topic I wanted to address. When we come back, we deal with a serious issue of missing files in the Office of the Attorney General. Stay tuned. Let's go to our second break, guys.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronex's collection of angle grinders.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Ronix Premium Quality.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
Yeah, and welcome back. Well, as we... Wait a minute. Azaria was supposed to mention that. Azaria, there's a little girl named Azaria. I just always tell her she just come too close to the TV. I will put my hand through the TV and I will hold your hand and pull you inside, Azaria. Don't stay too close to the TV for me, please. Okay, so the murder rate right now is about 23.
Correct.
I think. 3 persons were killed yesterday after robbing a Chinese supermarket in Ragunanan Road. They were shot in Ragunanan Road, Cunupia. Now, you see these miscreants who go in and robbing people. I have no problem once the law, they deal with them as is, because they are pests. They are total pests.
And it is in that vein, I echo and I come back to it. I echo the sentiments of the opposition leader. Light them up.
What do you mean? Empty the clip?
Empty the clip. These are bandits. And as I call them, beasts, criminals. Light them up. They commit a crime. They rob your hard-earned money. They come to just take away your life. Your life. They come to out it. Light them up. Go ahead.
But the next thing is too, some police, oh, here's the video of the bandits, watch. And like they're taking bread, like they're starving, lose your life for simple items. You can go and do a day work and buy it, you want to rob people. Well, you get what you look for. Or you let the parents buy coffee and biscuit, now they got weak. That is what's going on. Watch them. I don't know why the car didn't explode right there. For some reason, they just explode and disintegrate them to pieces. They don't just care about people in this place. But we also have to remember, I don't mind the police shooting the bandits. But the police are aiming so good. They shoot a girl and beat them.
Right, yes.
Inside the kitchen.
Correct. Sharida Ali, a mother of 2 daughters, 14 and 9. They was visiting. She's a janitor at Trin City Mall. She and her sister, Aisha, went to visit a longtime friend, 19th Street, Beetham Gardens, after finishing work around 6 p.m. And they were in the kitchen when a stray bullet from a police officer exchanging fire with bandits. And we don't know whose gun the bullet originated from, but it was some exchange took place. And a bullet somehow made its way in the kitchen and killed on sight, young Sharida Ali.
Collateral damage.
And just last week we were talking about a similar incident with a young boy
inside
got grazed
house
with a
also.
bullet.
Yes.
So I don't know what's going on I don't know what's going on. They need, instead of in addition to the body cameras, they need the aiming.
You need to send them back to the training grounds and do some proper shooting.
Yeah.
Because in my years of experience, I think I could shoot a bandit without shooting somebody in a kitchen.
Yeah, how does that happen?
I don't know if the gun if the bullet is just sway and just miss the bandit and go and kill innocent people. Maybe Gary might know what happened there.
Could be. Now, the other topic I wanted to address. Now, that just goes to show this SOE real working, eh? This SOE real working.
It's real working. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a police who resigned, and I asked him that said question. A reputable police, but I would not call his name. I asked him if the SOE is working, and he said no. He didn't even have, like, before I finished the sentence, he said no.
You know where you're coming already?
I said, well, probably we will have to call him have him on air, and, pose some questions to him, and let me get some tips on how an SOE should work.
Correct.
And what we should expect.
I agree.
So that could be something on the drawing board.
Now, the next topic I wanted to address, and now time's so short on it, I have to speed through it.
And we had to remember, we cannot forget our callers.
Of course not. Never. Now, the next topic, and guys, you have a slide with it. The heading should be reporting to missing file. Reporting to missing file, Solicitor General Department, Chief State Solicitor, incompetent. We now have, there we go, that's Solicitor General, slammed in missing file report, former Solicitor General Carol Hernandez. Let's go on to the other slide, please. And I think we have a copy of the report as well. You can show them the copy of the report, and I think we will get breaking barriers. There we go. That's the final investigative report dated June 2023 into the allegedly missing file that has an award in sum of $20 million to the claimants. And let's go on now to the article itself, report into missing file. Let's go. There we go. That's the Attorney General, Reginald Amor, Senior Counsel, and he says, he reads from the report, nobody is to blame, no criminal action, no disciplinary action, nobody is at fault. Imagine that.
Yeah, but he's the one who came and said the file was missing, and he was, to me, casting aspersion as to if it was deliberate.
Stolen, perhaps stolen.
This man, I lose all confidence in Reginald Amor. Since he entered the political scene.
Yeah.
He has moved from being about mid right down to zero. The man, but politics really has a morality of its own. You see, Mr. Pandey, God bless his soul. Politics really has a morality of its own.
Imagine after all of this, they come now to say we should overhaul the internal system at the AG's office. We should fuse the civil law department with the SG department, which is, by the way, the normal procedure. That is in the works more than 10 years now. So it's absolute nonsense. But what I want to get at, first, very quickly, because I'm short on time, I want to recite the timeline and then get into the report, and then we could open the lines. So the timeline is, the claim was filed and served on the AG's office on the 22nd of June, 2020. What that means is, as lawyers, we type it up, it look good, we spell check, our junior read it, and then we file it on our electronic filing system. It's online, it's there forever. Not a hard copy, not something printed, not something found in a file that could go missing. Let's be clear.
And you still have your hard copy.
And you still have your hard copy. Let's be clear. So it was filed and served means we drop it off. We drop it off or we email it. In this case, Anand Logan and his team did both. It was signed as being received by the State Counsel at the Office of the Solicitor General. It was received and signed for by State Counsel Mr. Toya Moore. Somebody actually signed for it. They get it. The report said on that very day it was forwarded to the service clerk, and the following day it was personally delivered to the SG's registry department. That's their internal filing system. That's how they assign it to a lawyer. Whatever they do, it's irrelevant to us, the taxpayers. That is their system, how it gets from entering the door as being served and reaching the desk of a lawyer. The claim form, the documents filed, were then recorded as received, and there was evidence to show that it was prepared on June 23rd, so the next day, 2020, and placed for transmission to the SG's department via messenger. All sort of semantics, the document moving from desk to desk. However, the report went on to say all the files that were received at the registry of the SG's department on June 22nd were taken to the SG Secretariat on the 18th floor and recorded in the incoming register by Ms. Yvonne John, save and except for this case. Every file that was served the day before were properly recorded as incoming, except this particular one, suspicious. But nevertheless, we do have a person in charge of that change, Ms. Yvonne John. All right? We then go on to say, there is then no recorded activity with the file during the period 22nd of June 2020 to August 2021, over a year. Over a year, no activity with the file. Save and except for emails sent by Sean Julian to counsel for the claimant, Anandram Logan and his team. So other than emails exchanged from the state to the lawyers for the claimant, no other activity. But I find that's activity enough. That's involvement of the AG's office. So you have records of it coming in. You have somebody signing for receiving. You have the matter assigned to somebody who is emailing on the matter. Let's go on. Former Solicitor General, Ms. Hernandez, says she stated that she first became aware of this matter on the 6th of July 2021 via an email from Mr. Julian, who informed her that an application for default judgment has been entered by the claimant. Now what that means is, as lawyers, we serve the document. The state has 42 days to reply. If they don't reply within 42 days or file a defense, we then file an application for default judgment. It's not automatic. When it's against the state, we have to apply for permission for default judgment. And that permission could be denied. That permission could be granted. On the 17th of August 2021, Hernandez requested the file from the registry, but was informed it could not be located. How an electronic file could not be located, I want the answer to that. How an electronic file could not be reprinted and given hard copy, I would like the answer to that. How the physical file went missing prior to August 17, 2021, I would like the answer to that. In any event, more critical to the issue at hand is Ms. Hernandez, the head of this department, is actively involved in the case as of this date. The report said on August 19, 2021, the file had been found on the desk of the then Deputy Solicitor Byram, who died. The gentleman died in the Court of Appeal while giving oral submissions. That man was such a good orator, such a good advocate. He could get a file in the morning, 6 o'clock when he reached to work, and by 9:15 in court, he jamming. We tell him how the file found on the man desk. Because now, I read the sentence again. It was found on Deputy Byram's desk, who died.
Dead men tell no tales.
Full stop. We move on. On August 20th, 2021, Hernandez was informed that the file had been located on Byram's desk, which at the time was unoccupied, save for files stacked in boxes. Serious issues there. So far we have Ms. John, and then we have Ms. Hernandez. People involved. All right, good. Default judgment hasn't been granted yet. At any point in time, the court could say no. However, it was not until May 18th, 2022, that a temporary file was reconstituted. So now you have a temporary file. The report said in an interview with acting SG Carleen Sinat, as Miss Sinat, on August the 4th, 2022, quote, she assigned the reconstituted file to now Justice Karen Reed. To now Justice Karen Reed, then Deputy Solicitor General, to take conduct of the matter on behalf of the Office of the AG at the assessment hearing of damages. So after default judgment was granted, it then moved to a master for assessment of damages. The issue of liability has been dealt with. We now go to quantum. So another court, a master's court, have to assess how much money the state have to pay, the defendant has to pay to the claimants. That's a whole other sort of mini trial. That's a whole other procedure. There are deadlines and filing deadlines and so on. You know, the sides start to argue over quantum. And at this stage, the very brilliant, educated Ms. Karen Reed has to take the file at this very late stage. And the report added, the assessment was heard before Master Martha Alexander on the 4th of November 2022. This is important. At the hearing, the court heard submissions from attorneys for both sides. So you were present at the assessment stage. You did not ask for leave to stay, pause the order of Justice Joan Giles. That's the order granting default judgment. You did not appeal that order. You did not ask for leave to put in a defense. You participated, which means you accepted the order by Justice Giles. Then you go on to say, the report stated the missing documents were filed electronically. That confirms the point I was making. How missing documents could be, how documents could be missing when it's filed electronically? How missing documents could happen when you have electronic filing? Everything is online. Everything, you can simply write a request to the office for the office copies department, and you get office copies the next day. You could go in and get it in 10 minutes.
So what you're saying, Richard, excuse. So what you're saying, they just concentrated on the hard copy?
Allegedly, they're saying that they were looking for this hard copy and it was found in Mr. Byram's office. Mr.
Byram is the guy name, right?
Yes.
When he took that file, it must have a paper trail.
The record does not show that Mr. Byram was ever assigned the file. And that's important.
So how did the file get there?
That's serious questions we have to ask ourselves. Serious questions.
It have a UNC. It have a UNC person.
Unanswered questions in this report. And then we go on now to say, well, the report then says, the team found that interest was only shown by the acting Solicitor General upon completion of the hearing of the matter and the order made by the court on January 30th, 2023, which is when the $20 million order was made. So after you get licks in court of first instance, after you get licks by assessment of damages, after you see the order for how much money you have to pay, then you're showing interest, and you telling me nobody is found negligent in this matter, in this missing file fiasco. Nobody.
And over $20 million have to be paid
plus
out.
Interest now. Hold on. Acting Solicitor General Ms. Sinat was also criticized for having an alleged nonchalant approach to the matter, even when it became apparent that the court was likely to make a substantial award. In spite of all of that, the report finds nobody criminally liable and recommends no disciplinary action. However, the report did not recommend disciplinary action against anyone. Our investigation has not found any facts, circumstances, or evidence which, in our opinion, may give rise to show or establish the commission of any disciplinary offense by any office or officer in the JLSC relating to this matter. Imagine that. Your tax-paying dollars, because this nonchalant attitude, missing files not properly recorded, and so on. And the last point I want to make is, I want to quote from the former Attorney General, Attorney at Law, Mr. Ram Logan, when he says, how is it How is it that the AG can propose settlement at the assessment stage? Why did the AG propose to the court that each claimant should receive between $750,000 to $1.2 million? Such a proposal could only have been made with the knowledge and approval of the Attorney General. What is the explanation for this? And of course, he's saying that, well, how can you say that you didn't know about the file, you didn't have the file, you didn't have any of the details and so on, and when in truth and in fact, the Attorney General office cannot make a proposal without the approval of the Attorney General. All right? And the other quote I want to put forth is, how much money are we paying for this report? How much taxpayers' dollars did we pay for this report that told us nothing, that answered no questions, that was a farce, that is irrelevant, that is, the report itself is not worth the paper upon which it is printed? And the reason I showed you the report there is because I think we will post it on Breaking Barriers, and I want you to have a read of it. I want you to have a read of it and digest it and ask those responsible for that report, how could you come to that conclusion that nobody is liable? How could you, if you retain an attorney, if you go by an attorney and say defend me, them fellas charging me for $20 million, and 3 years later you get an email saying we appeared in your matter, but we didn't have a file, we misplaced the file, we didn't assign it properly to our lawyer, whatever the case is, what you going to do? What you going to do, the lawyer? In this case, the Attorney General office was all of our lawyers, was the citizens' lawyers, right? And they did not participate in the matter properly, which has led to this $20 million judgment. And the fault of not participating, the Attorney General wants to say now it's nobody's fault. It's a systemic issue. Internal filing procedures need to be revised and so on. And that is tomfoolery. That is ridiculous. That is dotishness. Because when you manage to win a case, you just have a big press conference.
Yes.
When you manage to win a case, nothing wrong with the filing system then. When you manage to win a case, nothing wrong, you don't be out of the country then. When you manage to win a case, it's big press conference, it's big show, and now you come to lose a case against the former Attorney General, and you want to insinuate some sort of nefarious activity. You want to insinuate some sort of willful neglect. But look at where the negligence originates. Serious issues in this country.
Well, what do you expect from Forgetful Jones? That is how the cookie crumbles.
Serious issues, and $20 million of taxpaying money has to now jump up.
The money is not there. That should have come out from the Attorney General.
Somebody has to account for that nonsense. What would you do if you take a lawyer and 2 years later, well, 3 years later, the decision was in January 2023. 3 years later, you get an email, hey, you lost, you know.
The lawyer ain't no money.
We as taxpayers really have to ask ourselves what is really going on, eh? And nobody is to blame.
Well, only when you're in the Attorney General office. If it was privately, some head would have ruled.
Of course.
But because it's the Attorney General office and it's state,
Yeah.
nobody is held accountable.
Yeah, you could point fingers, you could say, well, that is that department and that unit and this and that and the next.
And you could say it's a
public servant.
Public servant did that.
Well, I was waiting because very early on in the report, they identified this public servant as the person who did not properly register the document as incoming. Now, how it didn't properly register, but it was a file located on a man's desk. These are serious missing links in the story that does not add up. This is not reasonable. It is not reasonable at all, at all, at all. So you see this tomfoolery, you see this nonsense, this short pants logic. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all, at all, at all. And to be honest with you, if if the claimants won their case, they're entitled to their money. If they were able to prove to a judicial officer they're entitled to 20 million, they should get their money. And the people who have to suffer the consequences, the people who are at fault to not put up a proper defense. And this report has their names in it, and they should be held accountable.
I agree with you. Well, you want to open the lines now and hear what
We'll take the last break and then open the lines.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll take the last break and then we can open the lines when we come back. So callers, get ready. We'll be taking your calls as we come back.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronex's collection of angle grinders.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Ronex's premium quality.
Welcome back, everyone.
Shoot. I shouldn't say shoot.
You sound like a police there.
All right.
Just don't miss it.
Yeah,
You know, in Star Wars, they'd have these guys and they could never land on their targets, you know. The stormtroopers. They had to change the police name to stormtroopers.
All right, very good, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back again. We are going to open our lines now to hear what our viewers have to say. You can speak on the topics that we discuss, so anything that is on your mind that is bothering you, bring it to the fore and we will see if we could assist you in any way.
Suppose somebody call in and say, you know what bothering me, boy?
What is that?
My wife can't cook.
Well, go and buy food. If she can't cook, go and buy food.
You just open it. Good night, everyone. You can call us at 663-8373 or 645-4426. Remember to turn down the audio on your television set and talk to us directly on the phone.
You see, that is why, you see, you're a bachelor, right? I'm going to give you some advice now.
Mm-hmm. How you know I'm a bachelor?
Well, you're
You
young.
don't know?
You're young.
Okay, young.
I think you make anybody tie up so young. You know what I mean? So, before you reach your next phase, make sure you go home by your future. But don't give your prepared food. When you reach there, let her start to cook for you. So you will know if she could cook or not.
Okay.
You could do that.
We could do that.
But you can't have the kitchen concealed so we're not seeing what they're doing.
Right, and this time she mother helping. She
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Caller, good night. Where you calling from and how can we help?
Yes, good night, gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Walaikum
assalam.
salam.
Gentlemen, I am so grievously, as you guys have been speaking about it, all of us in this country, about the criminal activity in this country. I'm seriously aggrieved as many and thousands of our law-abiding citizens. This killing of these people in Conopia, I would only say that may their souls resting. But it's getting so maddening, Uncle Nazim and Mr. Richard. I'm reading a post here by Ian Allen, 19 hours ago, shared on my Facebook page, subject to verification, but I believe it's credible. And I want the national community to hear this. This perhaps took place about, 24 hours ago, maybe less.
Yeah, give and take.
Ian Allen is posting this. Subject to verification, but I believe it's credible. Around 5:30 p.m., a man was driving his vehicle along the Beetham Highway, 24 hours, 19 hours out, or whatever it was. And he stopped at the Central Market traffic light. So apparently this man's car door was unlocked. And that is crazy. But anyway, a man jumped in with a gun. And the vehicle number is stated here, which I would not call on the air, but it was a PDU silver Nissan Latio. He stopped at the traffic light in the vicinity of the Central Market, as I stated. Man armed with fireman hijacked his vehicle. Two others hijacked him on the back of the vehicle, went into the back of the vehicle. As the post continues, announced a robbery. They took him in an area of Lacano in San Juan, beat him up, relieved him of his iPhone and credit card. Suspects drove off the vehicle and with the victim's vehicle. So here we are, carjacking, hijacking, home invasion. The police are up to their necks trying to, of course, solve all of these crimes. Guns are coming into the country at a maddening pace. Illegal guns all over. SOE or no SOE. The crime epidemic in this country, gentlemen. I am so seriously aggrieved. I don't know what, even if the political dispensation changes in a year, whether we can get hold of this. And the key to this is getting the guns off the streets. Correct. And that is what we are facing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes. And he's so correct.
True.
You could stop by a traffic light now. And you have to make sure your door is locked.
Check all the glass.
And you're still not safe. That is why, at some traffic lights, if I'm driving in the night, I take my chance and go break a red light, because I am not going to pack up to make a right turn or a left turn. And you're going to be held up. Especially it have bushes, some lights in areas where it have bushes. Mm-hmm. You don't know who could be hiding there. Mm-hmm. Especially late at night. I will wait for the road to be clear and I will go. It's better I take that chance.
Right. You don't go nowhere late at night anymore. Call me, I'll go drive you.
All right, very good. We have our next caller on the line. Hello, good night.
A pleasant good night, gentlemen.
This song is like
and
Santa
all
Cruz,
the best for the new year. Health, strength, and everything else.
Same to you.
And I want to, thanks very much. And I want to wish Insham a very healthy year. Hope he gets better to come back out so we could see him and hear him. I just wish him, he and his family, all the best. Now, we have to get rid of this government because the more we listen to the news is the more drama and disgust you're feeling in your stomach to see the things that is being done to us, and nothing could be done. Absolutely nothing. I think we need a Trump. We need Trump to come down here and deal with this government, because these people getting away with too many things, and none is being held accountable. All on a sudden, I don't know if Heinz get a B12 injection, but he's very vampy these days about SOE, and a parent call him and tell him to have a curfew for teenagers. All you need to get something for the teenagers to do. All you need, the Ministry of Education need to be serious in the schools. They're not doing nothing Absolutely nothing. A child committed suicide. Up to now, I am waiting to hear that a family be held accountable for that. They put some policeman named Meister to investigate it. Meister said that he hadn't found nothing, absolutely nothing. And this little fella committed suicide because he was bullied to the extent where you have reports, the parents talk about it. Nobody, this government don't care, and likewise nobody else don't care about the human feelings, these children feelings. Why these children committing suicide? Because they can't deal with it in the schools. What is Gatsby Dolly doing? What is her position? Why is she being paid to do nothing? Are we seeing this? Why we have to go through this another 10 years?
Don't say that.
When
Don't
half the
say
country
that.
will pass away?
Don't say that. Don't say next 10 years, you know. I can even take one day.
I'm telling you, but at the rate it going, these idiots we have here, don't be surprised if for an election, all of them put on their red jersey, a flag, and they get a box of food and settle for that, you know.
But that
How much of them still using outhouse, you know?
That happens every 5 years. A red jersey and with a couple blue notes in it and a hamper.
Yes, Yes, and they're going and wave the flag.
And they go suffer for the next 4.5 years and wait for a hamper, a jersey, and some blue notes.
Yeah.
And the road mash up, gas price gone up, your grocery bill gone up, your Pennywise bill gone up, you can't get goods, they come in and they're taking away your little water gun, your little caps gun you buy for the children and leave it real
My
gun.
children still working for 2013 salary. My poor children that have their family to take care of. 2013 when Rowley and them own gone up 100 times already since they're in office.
Yeah.
Without consulting taxpayers. Anyhow, guys, have a safe night, reach home safe, and extend my regards to Inchan and his family for me, please.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
His son is hearing you. His son is hearing you, so he will convey your message.
Okay, yes. He's in my prayers. He's in my prayers.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Good night.
Hello, good night. Hello?
Yeah, you still here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good night.
Good night, caller, your life.
Good night, Mr. Attorney and the co-host.
Yes, sir.
On that quick call, on that Chinese goods with Chinese writing, the law states emphatically in Trinidad, and Mr. Jagasa, you could check that. Every product that is imported or even manufactured locally has a date of manufacture and a date of expiry. You have an expiry date. So how do you know if you're buying goods that is expired or not? That's point number one. Point number two, that thing with the Attorney General office, easy to have solved, you know. All they have to do was give Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj the brief. That's all they have to do, you know.
Well, we will take your recommendation when this government is out of office.
No, but seriously, coming back to the Chinese stuff, every product, if you buy a tin of biscuit, you buy anything, you buy a sweet drink, you buy a Coca-Cola, it have an expiry date on it.
Right, but besides the expiry date, right?
The contents.
What about the contents?
Ingredients.
Well, I'm assuming that the content is good, but still.
And we cannot assume that. We cannot assume that.
But it could have been expired, you know what I mean?
No, but even though it expired, you know, some people are very health conscious. They want to know how much sugar is in it, how much sodium. So it should be in English.
A next quick question on the question of the emblem for the national thing.
The coat
Very
of arms.
simple. All they had to do was have an open competition and the winner will get $10,000, $25,000.
I agree with you totally.
Let man, woman, and child, everybody send in. Anybody who could draw send in something, and the winner will get $10,000.
Correct.
Kola, I say you go so far and you put it in secondary school and primary school. We have brilliant children here. They will be so
children,
innovative.
skilled.
You will be surprised.
Yes.
You have some brilliant artists in jail too, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, good night.
Okay. All right, sir.
Yes. The fairway in Parliament building, all the artwork in that corridor, that's local by Power Gen there.
Yes.
On Arpita Avenue, all the art, that's primary school.
It's no Power Gen again. Eh?
Well, all right, correct. Where the Power Gen building used to be. All of that, remember?
By the Queen's Park Oval.
All of that, local artists designed that.
All right, let's see. Hello, good evening.
Go on and
Hello?
this woman who boasts
Yeah,
that
hello,
she
good night.
designed things.
Hey, Charlieville, you lose out. You lose out tonight.
Nah, man, don't say that.
All right.
But here is right, Nizam. I just have one, two things I just want to touch on real quick before I go, right? First of all, this whole thing with the Attorney General and his missing file, is it the same public servant that put in the clause in the pension bill? Is the same public servant that take the file and move it? I don't know, because apparently they didn't hold anybody accountable for that as well, right?
Yeah. They like to blame public
I don't know,
servants.
I just asking questions, you know.
That is the disappearing public servant.
Right. And this quota arms thing, right? Let me tell you something. A vast majority of the country don't really have a problem with it. The problem we have with it is now is not the time to be doing this sort of nonsense.
I agree.
Because there's more important things that need to be done, and they need to use the money wisely, not for this stupidness. We don't need this right now. Let me ask you something. When they change our quota arms, and every single document you have with our quota arms are going to change?
By January next year, yes. The date is January 2026.
And when you go now in a public office on a normal day to get something like an ID card or a birth paper or a passport, you know the kind of problems you have to go through together? And what going to happen is have a rush and a backlog to go in our office. Them think they can handle it. These people just think about the after effects of these stupid decisions that they're making.
Rowley don't care. Rowley wanted so and it had to be so. The dictator.
Right. And it looked like they picked the correct person to design the quota arms now, right? Because she says she don't care and it's fitting perfectly with them, right?
Yeah.
Right, and the last thing I want to touch on before I go is this statement with the opposition leader make concerning Joe Biden. And let me tell you something, right? There are plenty of people in this country that they just like to live in denial. And they like things sugar-coated for them. Let me tell you something. See, everything that woman said, I read that whole thing. And every single thing the opposition leader said was true. She ain't said nothing that was not true in that release where she made there. And let me tell you something. Everybody that condemning the opposition leader and saying all kind of thing about she, like these people, like they like that agenda that was taking place in America, and everything that was trickling down to Trinidad. Like, for instance, all these ministers, where they interview and every one of them condemn them. Amory Brown, all of them. Let me ask them a question. Any one out of them ministers that condemn the opposition leader, any one of them succeeding in the ministry right now?
Failures.
Any one of them ministry functioning right now?
All failures.
Exactly my point. So who the hell is you to condemn the opposition leader? Let me tell you something. She's the opposition leader. In their whole lifetime, they might even reach that post. She's an ex-prime minister, you know. So don't think she never walk and meet with world leaders, you know. She walked that walk already, so she can afford to criticize. That's she opinion. You understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yes.
People always quick to jump and criticize on the woman. And let me tell you something. You see this PNM Women's League?
Oh, God.
It's such a stupid, such an idiot that has always jump up and select the criticism. Let me tell you something, right? Why they didn't criticize when all these bookstores, they bring in all these filthy books for little children to read? Do you remember all these books?
Yes.
When people was protesting in Trinidad and didn't want the books to come out, and the Ministry of Education was staying quiet on it. Do you remember all these things? Why the Women's League didn't jump out themselves and say, no, we can't have them things for we children. They stay quiet. But every time the opposition leader come out and make any kind of statement, they always bashing shit. And I don't understand why they just constantly go and ask Gary Griffith for his opinion on things, because the man has talked too much. And
I
the man
always-
makes statement that he does end up biting his tongue. You asking his opinion on the opposition leader, he slamming the opposition leader. Partner, if it wasn't for she, you would have never been the Minister of National Security. You need to understand that part. So she help you to reach where you reach. And every time something goes forward, he always has something negative to say. And if you notice before I go, he whole campaign is fighting the UNC. Let me ask you that question, right, before I go. If Gary Griffith win the UNC in the election, he going to become the government, he going to form the government.
Gary Griffith.
Who is supposed to be fighting, the PNM or the UNC?
Gary Griffith will not get a seat.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. He just another pop-up by, and all them fellas, he commanded 6 people and want to threaten the opposition leader. Partner, she controlling from the Carney Bridge, come straight down, you know. That way he need to understand, he need to have respect for people, right?
No,
I think he just talk too much, and he just put himself in problems when he open him out. Anyway, fellas, I'll enjoy that.
Before you go, Charlieville.
Yeah, talk to us.
The producer say every week you just pronounce my name wrong.
Well, tell me the pronunciation.
He say it's Nazim, not Nizam.
Oh, Nazim.
Yes.
I had to take note of that.
All right. You know I don't have a problem with it, but it is the producer.
Nah, man, the producer can give me a blind by. Just call your program every week. You know that?
Okay, cool, man.
All right, I'll take care on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See my name come up just now?
Yeah. I think you have to do the Baraka Grounds invitation one more time.
For the Ramadan?
Yes.
Yes, Justin, if we could run the Yes, folks, this is just a gentle reminder for all entrepreneurs. Come down at the Baraka Ground Shagwanas, where we have the largest and most attended event, our pre-Ramadan flea market. Whatsoever you want to call it. Bargains galore. You can book now. We will be closing off this week. This week we'll be closing off. So you can call 663-4762, 662-0403, 475-2230. Call early and book your spot. We will not be extending this deadline.
This is the same one. This is the last year when Inshan dunked me in the water. This is the same. We're gonna have that.
Don't think so. No, you want to get dunked again?
I never wanted to get down the first time.
No, that was when we had the bazaar.
All I'm saying is, if that is, I'm attending, but if that is there, I have to walk with a change of clothes. So
The problem we had with that,
too much people want
normally when you dunk somebody, you just get a splash. When they dunk
I put on weight. I put on weight.
You didn't get any splash.
I put on weight.
So we have to do something about that.
So, of course, guys, Uncle Nazim and myself, we will be there at Baraka Grounds for that pre-Ramadan flea market, together with Zach and Uncle Inshan. So, I think we crossed the 9:30 mark. And on that note, we want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching another episode of Breaking Barriers. We're excited to see you again next week. And at the end of the day, let's hope that common sense prevails. Let's hope that as a God-fearing nation, God has mercy on us. Thank you.
Before we go, guys, I just want to remind the people out there, Brilliant will be open from Friday, 2 p.m. till around 9:30, 10, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come down and have your fill of burgers, protein, cheesy pasta, steak, salmon, you name it, we have it. So come on down and enjoy yourself at Brilliant. Okay, folks, we'll see you next week.